What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mirphh, and today we're here to give you kind of a 1 week progress update, as well as kind of check in, like, what are we currently focusing on with the account, and then move into some Grand Arena stuff in the back end of it. So, if you guys are enjoying this series so far with our new free-to-play Star Wars Galaxy account chasing the new meta, like the video, drop a comment down below, let me know what you're doing in the game itself, subscribe so you don't miss future videos, all that fun stuff. Because our videos have been doing great compared to the rest of the content I've been putting out over the last year or so, on and off. So thank you guys, love you for all the great support, the interactions, the comments, everything else. Since we started doing Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes videos, it's boosted our views by at least 600%. But if you're enjoying the content, guys, subscribe so you don't miss future videos, because we have a 5% subscriber to viewer ratio right now. Anyways, so where we left off last week is we left off the end of our Grand Arena challenge. We went 2-1. We lost the final battle and went into second place. So kind of some keynotes I was focusing on coming out of that Grand Arena challenge going into this one. Number one, we need a Zeta on Darth Vader, period. As you can see, we have done that. We have Zeta the Merciless Massacre ability, which essentially in lower Grand Arena like this turns him into just a straight up 1v5 character. As long as you have Jedi or Rebels in there, you could just drop them in there and you will rip through them. So we also pushed him to Gear 12. I don't remember if he was there yet in the last video. And I don't recall off the top of my head, but I do believe that we were not able to get that Zeta on Vader in time for this current Grand Arena. I think we just barely missed the roster lock-in for that one. But we'll have it going forward, which is great. So our first two Zetas were Emperor Palpatine and Darth Vader. In the future, I would highly recommend that this first Zeta, no matter what, just put it on Darth Vader and be done with it and move on. Because essentially what that's going to allow you to do is to split Emperor Palpatine and your Empire/Sith characters into one team, and Darth Vader into its own separate team for early lower tier Grand Arena. Now, other high notes, obviously we've unlocked Commander Luke Skywalker at this point. I will still do a video because I have not upgraded my Leia or Princess Leia, my R2, my Farm Boy Luke, Old Ben, or Stormtrooper Han. Have not upgraded any of those characters since the event. In fact, their mods are probably worse now than they were then. So I'll probably come up with a video just kind of show you guys. I'm torn. Let me know if you guys want to see an actual CLS event video, because it's free content for me if I do the journeys on video for you guys to follow along with the channel. But at the same time, I don't need to do a guide for Commander Luke Skywalker. The dude's been on the game for 5 years. There's a million videos already on YouTube that show you how to get Commander Luke Skywalker. The lineup hasn't changed. The minimum requirements for getting him haven't changed. So I feel like it's an unneeded video, and I don't like just doing videos for the sake of doing videos. I like to actually, I don't know. I feel like if I'm not bringing relevant content, or if I don't have relevant content to bring, I don't make content. Personally, that's just me. But so, yeah, so we got a Zeta on Darth Vader. We've got Commander Luke Skywalker unlocked up to Gear 11. We're very close to pushing Gear 12 with him. And we've kind of shifted our priorities. So now that we've unlocked Commander Luke Skywalker, as per our kind of farming plan from the beginning, we're now starting to shift gears towards Chewbacca, and that means bounty hunters. So with bounty hunters, what I've been doing is I have been splitting a lot of energy between a lot of farms in the campaign. So I've been farming Home's Tooth every day. I've been farming Xanadu Blood every day. I've been farming IG-2000 every day. Just getting these ships ready for 1, Han's Millennium Falcon, and 2, the eventual push for Executor. Now, with that being said, I'm still also farming Bosks. Where are you at, Bosk? I'm losing my mind. We're still farming Bosk every day for 100 energy. We're still farming Iden Versio shards every day for 60 energy, which is fine. It's a very cheap one. We're still farming Wicket every day for 100 energy. You see where I'm going? We've got a very wide array of farms that we're doing right now for a lot of energy, and they're getting to the point where it's one thing to farm several characters when you're just unlocking them, or when they're at low star levels and you kind of rank them up fast, but you kind of get to a point once you get like the 3, 4, 5 star area that you really need to start cutting down the amount of characters you're farming and consolidating it and spending, instead of multiple like 25 crystal refreshes on like 5 characters, dumping them all into 1 or 2 characters and doing like your 25 and your 50 refreshes on them. So what I'm doing right now is, in order to unlock Chewbacca, we've already got Cad Bane at 7 stars. That's been done for a minute. Boba Fett's been done for a minute. We've just finished up IG-88 in the last week, and we're now pushing over to Greedo, so he will be 7 stars probably sometime next week, I would assume. And what's going on right now is that this Bosk farm is severely limiting my ability to get Chewbacca right now, with the amount of time it takes to actually farm these campaign nodes. And Bosk is a very, very important farm. He's a cornerstone for our bounty hunters. He's crucial as a leader for the actual Chewbacca event itself. And on top of that, he's also the crew member for Houndstooth, obviously, which is required for the Millennium Falcon and for Executor. So we need Bosk. So what I'm doing now is I'm now dumping, rather than doing refreshes on Houndstooth and doing refreshes on anything else, I am essentially doing my full 3 refreshes on Bosk right off the rip. And then any other energy I have, I'm still putting into my other farms that I'm looking at, like Wicket, Iden Versio, the ships, and all of those characters. But my main priority right now is to rush Bosk to 5 stars, because at least getting him to 5 stars will give me the Chewie unlock to be able to add Chewie to that Commander Luke Skywalker team. Once we have him at 5 stars, going from 30 shards to 65 shards is one thing. Going from 65 to the 85 and then the 100 that's required to push 6 and 7 stars is going to take a long time in the campaign farm. So what I'm starting to look at doing is I'm starting to think about pivoting my Cantina farm over to Aura Sing, just because it's a Cantina farm and it's very fast, and I'll still probably 7-star Aura Sing long before I 7-star Bosk. Or I'm also starting to dump guild tokens and Fleet Arena tokens into Zam Wessel, because Zam is going to be crucial later on for our bounty hunters. And also, it's likely still going to be a faster farm than farming up Bosk all the way up there. Now, at tier 6, tier 7 for the event, we will be losing Bosk's leadership ability for the event, which is unfortunate. But with the gear levels that we're going to need all these bounty hunters at anyways, it's not going to be an issue to clear the event without Bosk. So, with that being said, everything else that I'm kind of focusing on farming right now is in the fleet campaign. I'm currently still farming out our TIE Defender. I'm kind of farming out, where are we? Outrider. We're kind of farming Outrider on the side, but I can't even find where it is right now. We don't have any shards for it, do we? Alright, whatever. Doesn't matter. We're kind of farming Outrider on the side. I'm really focusing on getting Slave 1 up, because 1, I still need to unlock the final tier of my ship ability materials challenge. And then we're kind of also focusing on Marin a bit on the side, because one of my side projects that I really want to do early on here, in order to set us up for Grand Arena and Territory Wars and Battles, is that I want to go ahead and get the jump on farming out Marin here and building on our Night Sisters. And I think that that's going to be, for one, the majority of the characters outside of Marin are very, very cheap and easy gears, because they're all old characters. They're all double shard farms. But 2, Night Sisters is like one of those like core teams for the game that, like, if you don't have it, I feel like you don't notice it. But when you do have it and you have it built, like, it's game changing. There's an entire assault battle for it. It's amazing in Grand Arena. And Marin really transformed that team, and I kind of want to get an early jump on farming her as well as the rest of the team. So I'm focusing a bit on Marin. For our Cantina farm, obviously we finished up Old Ben, Luke Skywalker, the Farm Boy, all of them in the last week or two, along with all of our Empire requirements. So what I'm kind of focusing on now is I started focusing on Chief Sherpa for the C-3PO event. Where are we at? I'm literally talking, and like my brain can't keep up in the game right now with this. Ewoks, where are we? Oh, we're in ships, duh. There are no Ewok ships, moron. Alright, so let's pop open Ewoks. Chief Chirpa, we got the 4 stars. We'll be able to push him to 5 soon, but obviously the C-3PO unlock is going to be gated a bit behind our Wicket farm, our Ewok Elder farm, Poplu, and Logray as well. And I just haven't had the guild campaign energy yet to start dumping into these farms, which Update, I was able to pull my alt account into my main account's guild, and I'm kind of on the cutting line. If we have any other recruits come in, this account's out. I gotta find a new home for it. But for now, at least, I'll be getting a good amount of guild campaign energy and credits from them, which means that we'll be able to start focusing more on these types of farms in the near future. But Chief Chirpa, I started farming to 5 stars, and I stopped him quick because I wanted to not be a deadbeat in my guild, and I wanted to start farming out Geonosian. So what we went ahead and did is we unlocked Geonosian Brood Alpha, and we're now farming out Geonosian Soldier and Spy in the Cantina farm. And we're going to farm out our Geonosians. That's kind of next on our priority list. 1 is going to give us a great Grand Arena defense team. 2, eventually down the road, it'll be a great territory battle defense team as well. But 3, more importantly, we're going to be able to contribute to Watch Shards with the guild and actually be able to help out in the dark side Geonosis territory battle. So, side note out there, if you guys are playing new accounts or alt accounts and you're in a guild that is much, much more powerful than your account is, don't be a deadbeat. Ask them what they want. Help out with the guild. I personally was asking and offered them whether they would prefer I start building on Jawas for a crate raid team, or if they would prefer that I build Geonosians for a Grand Arena, or not a Grand Arena, but for the territory battle / territory wars. And they decided Geonosians, so I'm going there. So to hop in the stores real quick and show you guys kind of where we're focusing on the rest of our targeted farms at. Obviously, still buying out the credit gear that is inside of the featured shipments. Weekly shipments, I'm really not doing anything here yet. We don't have the raw credit income to be able to kind of dump it into these. It's really not worth it unless you have a vast excess of credits. We're still using our ally points to actually open the Bronzium packs or whatever it is. The free-to-play packs you can open with ally points. That's kind of where we're dumping them right now, because there's just a lot of good character shards for early game characters, as well as other kind of crappy lower level gear. Eventually we use for salvage, but we need all of that right now. But that's all we're really spending on in the weekly shipments. In the Cantina battles, where we're now focusing our farm, is I was kind of torn between going for Jawa Scavenger, start building our crate raid team, Ahsoka Tano, start building Jedi, so we can finish off our farm for Grandmaster Yoda, because we only have him at 5 stars currently. I opted actually to go after old Daka for the same reason I'm farming Marin right now, is I want to get my Night Sisters up to speed quick, because I think they're going to get me some sneaky holds on defense in my Grand Arenas. And right now, I'm facing everybody from someone with like 700,000 galactic power all the way up to like 2 mil galactic power. So I really need to get creative with what I'm doing with Grand Arena ASAP, so I can start climbing and get more crystal income. Guild activity, obviously here we're still going to be spending our Mark II raid currency is still going directly and only to Wampa right now. We're kind of sitting on our Mark III raid tokens. We don't really have anything to spend it on yet. I guess if I get to a point where I start capping, maybe I'll just start buying the where are we? The like relic materials up here. But for now, we're just gonna kind of sit on them. Our Mark I raid tokens are going explicitly to. I really wish they would split the store into multiple stores, because it takes forever to scroll through this whole thing. But we are spending the majority of our Mark I raid currency right now on either Han Solo or gear for like specific, very important characters for us to gear up ASAP. Like I dumped some into Commander Luke Skywalker. But with how crucial Han Solo is for us to unlock, and the fact that we're not doing the pit raid anymore with the way the raids work, it's much more important for me to spend this on Han Solo than it is for gear right this second. Outside of like those cornerstone characters like CLS or Emperor Palpatine or Darth Vader, those are really like the only types of characters that are worth spending gear on this low right now, when we still have to unlock all these other very, very important characters. So kind of step 1 is unlocking these characters, step 2 is building them. Always think of it that way. If you ever try to do both simultaneously, you will stretch your account too thin and you will really not progress anywhere. I really try to take it as like a kind of a 2-step approach like that. Is you're either farming or you're building. You're farming, investing, that's it. And kind of going through both of those cycles. In our Galactic War store, we finished off Cad Bane. I went through it and I unlocked Magma Trooper just so that I could add him to the Ad Inversio team. And now what we're doing is basically I'm saving up all of my currency, and anytime I get one of my dark side ships in here that I need to farm out to 6 stars for the final tier of the ship ability materials challenge, the daily challenge, we're spending it on those ships because I need to get that ASAP, and I'm missing out on a lot of materials right now that eventually I'm going to start getting outpaced in Fleet Arena if I don't get that soon. So we get to a point at the end of the day where I have leftover currency and I can't buy these ships. What I'm doing is I'm spending it on Magma Trooper or Poggle. Actually, let me back that up. I unlocked Magma Trooper already. I'm now using that strategy with Poggle. So kind of once you unlock your first couple characters and max them out in your Galactic War Store, you want to just dump everything into ships, period. Because one, is going to get your fleets up to par, and you need at least 2 fleets for Grand Arena. But 2, bloating that GP is what's going to help you get to the Proving Grounds faster. Now, obviously, we're still like a year and a half out from Proving Grounds, more than likely. And we're also a year and a half out from even unlocking characters via Proving Grounds. So that's like 2 to 3 years down the road for us right now. And the game might not even be live at that point, but we still got to play for it like it's going to be. Rolling into it, we don't have enough currency anywhere to spend anything in the mod store, so don't even look at it when you're new. This is for when you're like 3, 4, 5 mil GP and all the way up to wherever else, and you get to a point where you're really only investing materials into teams when you need to, and you just start kind of hoarding things up. You start sitting on like 20 mil credits. That's when you kind of start going in here and dumping shit. I really don't touch it otherwise. The ship store, we're still focusing on Razor Crest every time it's in here. We're still focusing on Ghost every time it's in here, and the Phantom as well, just because we do want to unlock Thrawn's ship fairly quickly, because that'll be a very good kind of early ship for us to use until we get our exec. And then as well as that, we are focusing on General Grievous anytime he's in here. And I'm kind of dumping a little bit of currency into Sun Fac. The reason I haven't yet on this cycle is because I didn't want to waste all my currency yet. So Sun Fac is kind of my like end of day dumper, where like if I've got like 400 to 800 credits left at the very end of the day, I'll buy him. But I don't like spending all my credits all in one go unless like it's something I can't miss, like Grievous. Because you never know what's going to come around like in 20 minutes at the next refresh. The guild event store, we're not focusing on anything with Malevolence or Negotiator yet. That's going to be like mid-game for us. What we're currently focusing on, again, is we're dumping all of our Get 1 into Wampa, and all of our Get 2 is going into Rebel Officer Leia Organa. That's it. We have no other way to farm these characters out, especially, or at least for Leia Organa. So we are taking a considerable hit in farming out gear and other characters, but this is what we have to do in order to follow this meta, and we'll see how it goes. In the shipment store, obviously the GAC shipment store, most of the gear that comes in here is for like your later gear tiers, like gear 11, 12, and whatnot. So we're not getting a lot of use out of this yet. But essentially, what I prefer to do is when you start getting those cornerstone characters like Boba Fett, it's going to be needed for multiple characters, or CLS, or whatever. Like your core team characters, just if they have gear in here, buy it. Otherwise, early on, you're not going to be using that currency for a lot of other stuff. The same kind of goes for this. Like, it's really not all that worth it for me to start spending stuff on like all these Gear 12 modifier abilities, or gear rather. I'm just not getting enough currency to be able to dump in it and make it worthwhile. So yeah, what we really need is, we've got our first raid live since we've joined the guild, is we need to keep contributing to the guild, keep collecting these raid rewards so that we can then invest that, because that is the main thing that's been holding this account back. Is that's kind of how we're meant to gear up right now, is with all these guild currencies, and we haven't had access to it. So with that being said, we're actually at 20 minutes right now, so I'm going to cut this video here, and this is just kind of the account update. I'll roll through the squads real quick that we're working on, but after that, I'll do a separate video for the Grand Arena. So this is kind of our Empire team we're rolling with right now. When we aren't using Darth Vader like in Grand Arena, I'm kind of rolling with a Sith character instead. We've got CLS here. It's kind of a budget throw together Rebels team. Obviously, as we unlock Chewie, he'll go in there. We'll unlock Han, he'll go in there, and then eventually C-3PO and then the 3PO and Chewbacca. We've got our Iden Versio troopers, which are still very obviously a work in progress. We need to get Magma Troopers some investment, and we need to get mods on them as well. We've got our Geno scenes unlocked and ready to go, just waiting on more currency to be able to invest in them as well. We're going to start working on Qui-Gon in the near future in order to unlock and max out Grandmaster Yoda. We've also got a Night Sisters team set aside. So these are kind of the the early game teams that I am planning on building and focusing on just one at a time. So really what I'm doing is I'm focusing on, like, right now I'm focused on getting CLS to gear 12, getting my bounty hunters up for Chewbacca. As we start finishing that, it's going to be time to start dumping more gear and more stuff into the rest of these teams. So like next up, I'll get Magma Trooper and the rest of this Adversio team all to 85, because I don't really care about these characters right now. Once we do that, then it'll be time to move on to Genos and so on. There it is. Holy crap. All right. Allergies, man. That's going to be it for this video. I'm going to go blow my nose and scoop my sinuses out with a rusty spoon, and I'll do Grand Arena attempts in a little bit here and post another video for it. Thanks. Love you. Bye.